matov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine matov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom
Shabbat Shalom.
and welcome. Oh, Shabbat is finally here, and sometimes it comes right on time. As our service begins this evening, we invite you to just take a moment, check your cell phones, make sure that they're in off or silent mode so as not to disturb our worship. We invite you to take a prayer book. They're right under your seats, and we'll be announcing the numbers and the pages, or if you don't want to hold a prayer book, you can also follow along on the screen up there.
And the page numbers will be on the slides. Unless there's no page number to go with the slide, in which case we won't announce it.
And it's always nice when we come together to take a moment to get to know the nice smiling masks around you. So we invite you to just look around, find one person you don't know, introduce yourself to that person, and wish them Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So if I'm honest, I'm a little jealous of all the exciting things that Yoshi has planned in the upcoming month. On October 14th, our Yoshi Minis, which is our 3rd to 6th grade program, is having their wacky games night. I may need to be a fly on the wall. And on October 17th, our Club Yoshi, which is our 1st and 2nd grade program, will be having Ceramic Sunday. If you have kids or grandkids in this age group and you haven't signed up yet, please go to our Yoshi page on our website so they can join in on the fun. Our Yoshi Juniors will be having a Blessing Bag Brigade on October 24th. These bags of toiletries and necessities are put together by our youth and distributed to the needy in Monmouth County. Please consider donating items such as travel shampoos, throwaway razors, and or small water bottles. There's a tub in the front of the building. This is the first of many activities our juniors will get involved in experiencing repairing the world. I heard such great things about our men's club softball game last weekend. We didn't win, but I heard that there were a lot of new faces and everybody had a lot of fun. Don't miss our men's club breakfast on October 17th in the morning here at the temple. Sisterhood beginning of the year dinner is October 21st. I think we're up to like 60 people. It's awesome. So if you're not signed up, please go to the website and sign up. And pick your meal that is catered by the Pickled Herring. Also, our afternoon October book club will be reading White Ivy on October 20th, and our evening book club will be reading The Third Daughter on November 4th. Please see our website for times and Zoom links. And don't forget the clothing drive on October 17th. We will be collecting bags of clothes from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, so bring the bags in and clean out your closets because, frankly, we all could use some new clothes after a year of COVID, right? In case you missed it in your email, TRT will be having their congregational meeting on October 14th, and TSC will be having their congregational meeting on the 17th. It is important to participate as your vote is needed to pass our merger plan. I'm so excited that we are in the home stretch, and this will be one of the last things we need to do in order to become one family. One of the amazing things that I love about this community is how much we work towards Tikkun Olam, repairing the world, and pekuach nefesh, the Jewish value of saving a life. We have heard from a congregant there is a need for a living kidney donor. The donor list can be forever long and many times daunting to the recipient. If you have an interest in learning how you can become a living donor, please reach out to the rabbi directly and she will direct you to the right place. We also have our blood drive, which is going to be on October 28th, another way to help repair life here in our community. I did hear that the URJ Regional Summer Camp, Camp Harlem, opens for registration for summer of 2023 on Monday. So please stay tuned for activities and informational sessions on all of the amazing reasons why your kids and your grandkids should attend URJ Summer Camp and take trips to Israel. I look forward to chatting with all of you at the end of the service. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I forgot to mention that I'm Rabbi Melinda Panken,
I'm Cantor Wally Shackett Briskin.
and we're so happy to have our president, Jennifer Fessler, with us this evening. It's time to welcome Shabbat by lighting candles and blessing the wine and beginning to count our blessings. And it is a pleasure to call up our bar mitzvah for this weekend, Daniel Goldring and his parents, Alyssa and Michael, to lead us in the blessings.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the holy Shabbat our heritage, as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagam.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ava uvratzon inchilanu, zikaron lemahaseh v'reshit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim. V'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We continue page 126, reading together. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life.
Page 144. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zaman kari v'imru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam U'Lalamei Alamaya Yitbarach Yitbarach Ve'yishtabach Ve'yitba'ar Ve'yitramam Ve'yitnaseh Ve'yithadar Ve'yitaleh Ve'yithalal Shemei D'Kudsha B'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran me'alma v'meru. Amen. If you're able, please rise for our call to worship, page 146. La 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 Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. La 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 la.
Page 149, we read together at the top. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night, as heaven spans to infinity. You set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aradim. Page 151, together at the top. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam, Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. And you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorpost of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Page 159. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh peleh, nora tehilot oseh peleh. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei ayam livnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai Meloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai Meloch le'olam va'ed. land. And all the women followed her, just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song and sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're going to dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov u'ge'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai gal Yisrael.
Page 161, together in the middle. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 164.
Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Please rise. Adonai sifatai tiftach, ufi agi tehilatecha. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my heart to love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chazdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem. Mechalkel chaim bechesed. Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech nofalim v'rofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umidomelach, Melech memit umchaya umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Open my eyes to truth, open my hands to give freely. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Open my lips to good words, to pure words, open my heart to love. Open my heart to love. Please be seated.
Page 173, together at the top. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Chen v'chesed, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, v'rachamim. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amecha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. We pause for a moment of silent prayer. Ihiu leratzon imre fi behegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri v'goali Adonai tzuri v'goali Ihiu leratzon imre fi behegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri v'goali Adonai tzuri v'goali
We always take a moment in our service to say a prayer for those who are ill and those who are in need of healing and wholeness, be it of their body, their mind, or their spirit. You can follow along in the prayer on page 371. This evening, we especially hold in our hearts all those suffering from COVID-19. We pray for their complete and very speedy recovery. And we pray for all of our medical care workers. We hope that they stay safe and healthy so that they can do the holy work of healing. We pray for members of our community, Nika Mandelberg, Daniel Minerva, Lori Schulman, Stephen Rice, Jordan Silverman, Richard Cohen, Karen Pine, Elliot Rudick, Gabby Bursey, Allison Sack, Brian Roche, Colleen Syatt, Michael Goldberg, Mindy Minerva, Norma Menaker, Eileen Fireman, Marla Bucher, Jan Gale, Ron Klug, Grayson Shukovsky, Patricia Roiger, Marilyn Jacobs, Vian Alfred Miller, Nadia McDonald, Kenneth Tankus, Itu Fang, Adriana Puza, Spencer Gray Rothstein, Benita Apple, Elka Pravda Gans, Brody Scher, Robert Rubinacci, Alan Zwick, Joseph Mayer, Miriam and Ben Sklinover, Jared Naratsky, Bob Klatterman, Rochelle Raylick, Susan Vitale, Vera Schwartz, Samuel Finkelstein, and Barbara Lovino. If there are others who could use a prayer for healing, we invite you to simply say their names aloud now. For those we've named, for those we haven't, and for those we name silently in our hearts, Misha Berach, Avotenu V'Imotenu. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those who are ill. May their doctors and nurses be skillful and compassionate. May those who care for them find support and comfort. And may they all be granted refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, the complete healing of body and spirit, as together we say, Amen.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBeracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, Makor HaBeracha, Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
In our Torah portion this week, we read the words, Noah with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood. We call her Mrs. Noah because we don't really know her name. We learn his sons' names, we don't learn his daughters-in-law names, and we don't know Noah's wife's name. We have some theories, but these are only supposition. And some see her as a hero, some see her as a demon. She is mentioned 5 times, anonymously. She goes into the ark, she comes out, and we hear nothing about what she does in between. What do you imagine she did in between? Because it wasn't a carnival ship with a buffet and pool chairs. There were hundreds of hungry animals on board, needing attention for 40 days and 40 nights, and there were only 8 human beings to care for them. So she must have been doing something. So imagine for a moment what you think that might have been. While Torah never names her, in the Middle Ages, Rashi does. He suggests that she is Naamah, only one of 3 women named in the generations between Adam and Noah. Now, the name Naamah means several things. The Hebrew root can mean to sing or chant. And so some of the rabbis imagined that Noah's wife, Naamah, was a musician, skilled in playing instruments, a professional singer of religious music. And I just want to point out tonight that all the music that the cantor chose for our service is music that was written by women tonight because of Naamah. Now, Naamah also means beautiful, and some described her as the most beautiful, radiant woman in the world. That tells us about her outside. But Naamah can also mean pleasant, and the rabbi saw her as a woman whose deeds were pleasing, a righteous person who gave birth to righteous children. And tradition teaches us that she was saved from destruction during the floods, not because of her husband's righteous deeds, because we learn that that's why he's saved. He's a righteous among his time. But we actually learn from her name that perhaps she was saved too because of her own deeds, because she was a righteous woman in her time. But because she is mysterious, and perhaps because she's a woman, these ancient rabbis also take the opportunity to portray her in negative ways as well. One says she was a person who used her musical talents to lure people into idolatry. Another says she was a woman who used her beauty to seduce angels and men. And others claim that she was even a demon who worked with Lilith, Adam's first wife, you don't hear much about her, who sought to harm infants and humans in their sleep. Why imagine her this way? What did she do? This wife that went on the boat with him, why did she deserve this image? Her silence in the text is painful because we know she must have had a voice, but no one captured her words. She lived in an age of violence and evil, so much so that God decided to destroy the world. So what did she experience of this? She saw the world and all of humanity drown in a flood. How did she bear this? She cared for hundreds of animals. How exhausted was she? She emerged to a husband who grew grapes and then drank too much and passed out. So how did she make sense of this ending? When we start to ask these questions, we can imagine what she might have said. Perhaps even in her silence, she was speaking loudly to us. Naamah, musical, beautiful, righteous. There is a poignant midrash that was turned into a children's book that paints the picture of the Naamah that I like to hope that she was. It says that while Noah was busy gathering the animals on the ark, Naamah went around collecting seeds of every kind, so that after the flood she could replant all the trees and all the vegetation. Her world was destroyed, but she ensured that the plants and food animals feed on to live would also survive. So though this Shabbat we read Parshat Noach, perhaps tonight let's also think of it as though we are reading Parshat Naamah. She is one of so many silent, unnamed women who drive human history, who will never be acknowledged or appreciated for their contribution to the world. So tonight, we appreciate her, and we name her, and we remember her. And when you leave this synagogue and you go back out into the world, because you'll notice, what does it look like? A little bit on the top, it looks like an ark turned over. When you leave this sanctuary or this ark, and you pass a tree or some grass or flowers or vegetation along your way, take a moment to think about the Naamahs in the world and the goodness that strong women bring to all of us. Shabbat Shalom. We continue page 586 with Aleinu, please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד. Please be seated.
Page 599. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. If you are here this evening remembering a loved one for their yahrzeit, we invite you to stand when you hear their name read and to remain standing until we all join in rising with you for the mourner's Kaddish. This evening, we remember the more than 2,700,000 Americans and the 4.8 million human beings around the world who've succumbed to COVID-19. We remember those whose families are currently in the 30-day mourning period of Shloshim: Jack Agron, Jan Sandusky, Howard Pryder, William Garson Pazamant, Mason Solomon, Ronald Hockman, and Jeffrey Schnoyer. We remember those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing, falls this week: Phil Band, Maurice Barron, Elisa Berman, Gloria Bisman, Stanley Bloomberg, Benek Bollander, Amy Broder, Jack Brown, Jean Cantor, Benjamin Cotton, Tilly Ratner Cohen, Charles Cole, Ann Garowitz Consovoy, Jules Cooper, Burton Densis, Richard Louis Fessler, Ruth Finkelstein, Donald Fleischer, Lesef Ginsher, David Goldstein, Sanford Greenfarb, Harry Cantor, Alan Kassman, Max Kirschenbaum, Norma Kittay, Joseph Comito, Rose Kravitz, Sylvia Lapps, Harry Levinstein, Phyllis Levitt, Lena Lomachinsky, Benjamin Marshall,
Jesse Miller, Stuart Miller, Donald Miller, Philip Novick, Helen Pearl, Rose Plower, Dorothy Portnoy, Rose Rygrod, Theodore Rhine, Abraham Rousseau, Anna Salkin, Hyman Sandberg, Aviva Michaela Schleider, David Schlissel, Ray Schulman, Joan Schwartz, Arthur Seidel, Elliot John Seawald, Bessie Shane, Esther Sherman, Bernard Schimmerman, Gary Shukovsky, Ira Schulman, Molly Silberman, Ida Silverberg, David Spodek, Max Stauber, Leon Stern, Joseph Wolf, Robert Wolf, Francis Jelinek, Eleanor Yesner, Terry Zinn. And each week we call to mind 6 individuals who perished in the Shoah, the Holocaust. Israel Zichner, Herschel Sherney, Toli Shamison, Eva Shaleski, Avram Knisiau, Avram Rosman.
Zichronam Levracha, may those who have blessed our lives continue to bless us through the beauty of their memory. We rise now as a community for the mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chaye chon u'vyomei chon, Uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv imru, Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mivarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ve'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shalama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to those who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved, as together we say,
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, Amen. Please be seated.
We always take a moment to thank those who made donations to the synagogue this week. Many generously donated in memory of Eugene Paris, Jack Agron, and Louis Singer, for the art sites of Martin Burkhoff, Max Stauber, Rose Rygrod, Yaakov Bael, Benjamin Cotton, Burton Dinsis, Arthur Seidel, Stuart Miller, Theodore Rhine, Elliot John Seawald, Terry Zinn, Albert Rubinacci, Rose Plower, Ray Schulman, Alan Kassman, Eleanor Yesner, Tilly Ratner-Cohn, Evelyn Weissman, Aviva Michaela Schleider, Morris Moskowitz, Sylvia Moskowitz, and Barney Fisher. Donations were made in honor of the bar mitzvah of this young person sitting here, Daniel Goldring, and for the baby naming of Riley Madison Height and the birth of Noam Malachi Grinwald de Silva, and a complete and speedy recovery for Barbara Levino, and in appreciation of the clergy. A lot of mazel tovs this week, a lot of good news to share. First of all, mazel tov on the birth of Noam Malachi Grinwald de Silva, who was born September 25th, to proud parents Larissa and Nimrod, and proud grandparents Ailey and Tamima Grinwald. Mazel tov in California, which is where they are now. And mazel tov to Fabian and Sandra Burston on the engagement of their son Brian to Miriam Bauman. Mazel tov. But we'll have some grandchildren there too. Very exciting. And Brian and Ellen Feinberg on the wedding of their son Dan to Lisa Fierman, and Michael and Susan Goldman on the wedding of their daughter Sarah to Stephen Epstein. I think a lot of our past presidents are going to be having grandchildren soon, so it's very exciting. Anyone here have any grandchildren they want to share? Any good news this week? We always invite you to come with good news. Yes, Wendy.
We celebrate
Oh,
Mazel tov.
mazel tov. What's your secret to success? 44 years. Always listen. I once asked that of a couple that was celebrating their 65th, and she said to me, "We communicate loudly." Okay, that's a good tip too. Any other nice things happen this week? Any good grades in school? Anybody becoming bar mitzvah? Mazel tov to the Goldring family.
I would like the composers of this evening's music to not remain nameless. So our Hine Matov was by Alana Arian. Our Bachu was by Rochelle Nelson. We sang Debbie Friedman's Shema and Ve'ahavta and Micha Mocha and Miriam's song. We sang Open by Judith Silver. We sang Sim Shalom of Judy Silver and Yehiyu L'Ratzon of Alana Arian as well. And we will close with Oseh Shalom by Nurit Hirsch.
And Cantor, don't you have a son who's starring in a play?
If you want to see the Axelrod Performing Arts Academy production of SpongeBob the Musical, you may recognize Patrick Starr, the starfish, as Micah Shack at Briskin.
He's a good actor, so you don't want to miss this. Well, I think I don't see any other hands, but we hope that you'll join us for Oneg afterwards. Thank you to the Goldring family for sponsoring the Oneg this evening. I'm actually going to leave this in its hermetically sealed bag so we can take it in the back and cut it up and share it with you. But let's all join in the blessing.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is joyfully said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen.
As we come in blessing, so too we leave one another in blessing. And we invite you, if you're with a loved one, to maybe grab them and pull them close. Or if you're not someone who's a hugger, you can put a hand on your heart as we share blessing together. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May you be blessed. May you be safe. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka. May you be luminous. May you be loved. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you be joyous. May you be healthy. May you be whole. Shabbat shalom.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat shalom.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom.
What is it?